What is up, guys? It's Brett here bringing you guys the OBA is actually season 4. I think it's week 5 or 6. 4, 5, or 6. I actually lost track, but it'll be in the description or the title of this video. If you guys are hyped for this match, feel free to drop a like down below and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. I know the channel's been a little bit slow lately, but after the school year's done, it'll be speeding up. I have to get into this. This is a pretty long battle, so um, going against Greg in the Chicago Ursaring last season. He actually did win against me. I think he actually got a 5-0 against me last season. Going on for revenge this time. I prepared very, very well, actually, surprisingly well. My opponent has a very, very threatening draft as well, being Tapu Koko, which is probably one of the best mons so far in OU in this meta. Um, and proving himself to be very, very good in the league format. He also has the Lando T, which is always good, which I actually wanted this season, but I actually got sniped. Possibly with Don Fan, Drapion, uh, Togekiss, possibly bring as well. A few different things. I kind of knew he was going to bring Doug Trio just because it matches very well and it traps a lot of my things. Wasn't quite sure about the Jirachi. It was kind of 50-50. Wasn't quite sure if he was going to bring Licky Licky. He actually does. I was assuming if he would bring it, it would be more like a special defensive wall or possibly like a curse setup set or something. Maybe an explosion set. I knew he was going to bring Tapu Koko, possibly run it like maybe a physical variant or a special variant, but compared to most teams, I'm pretty covered for Tapu Koko, so it really isn't too big of a threat. Um, Knew he was going to bring Lando. Lando is pretty much the only thing that he really has to take on Darmanitan. I kind of actually expected a defensive Lando as well this week with like Rocky Helmet to check Mega Beedrill and Darmanitan. Also possibly like a choice Scarf set. Mega Absol as well. I actually had that last season. I know how much of a beast that thing is. Very, very good move pull, especially with the buff this gen with the speed actually going up on the turn of Mega Evolution. It's a very, very huge threat. I think I actually have it covered pretty well with this draft as well, or this team as well. Kind of 50-50. I wasn't quite sure if it's going to bring it just because it gets checked by Mega Beedrill very, very hard, and a few of my other mons. But I'll kind of go over the stats in during the match because this is a pretty long match, and I kind of want to explain my thought processes. I was in the zone for this match. It seems like in game lately, if I battle in game, on like Sundays and Sunday nights, I get in the zone. So I think that's when I'm battling most of the time. No more showdown. We're gonna be going in game. Sunday nights, Sunday evenings is when I'm in the zone, and was in the zone for this match. He leaves with the Absol, which I kind of expected. He was gonna be either lead with probably like the Landorus T or the Absol. Pretty sure the Absol she does lead with it. I wanted to get my rocks up. He has no way of getting rid of rocks apart from Magic Bounce, so goes for the knockoff. I wasn't quite sure if this was a special or physical variant. Ice Beam would only did around about a little bit over half, so I could at least take one. Earthquake does over half to this thing, so getting damage on this thing I think is the most important as I go for the Earthquake on the first turn. He does get rid of my leftovers, which is a bit bad, but I do have reliable recovery. Now right here, I actually do not even pick a move. I was actually busy calculating how much Ice Beam would do to me if he had positive like Ice Beam, or he was actually set up to like +2 if he had Sword Stance. I do not click a move right here, and the game actually clicks Stealth Rock for me, so I get very, very lucky right there. If you would have stayed in, I got rocks on my side, and that would have made my team a little bit more windled down, and made it really, really hard for me to win this match. Goes for the Earthquake here. Judging from that damage, I think it's a bit more offensive of a Lando T, so I had to slack off here just to see what he wants to throw at me. I wasn't quite sure if he had like maybe like HP Ice or something. I know Lando T run HP Ice. In OU. I wasn't quite sure if he'd run that against me for like this, but goes with the Sword Stance here. I go for the Toxic. I have really nothing to switch into this thing, so far we see Earthquake and Sword Stance. Really don't have much to switch in for this thing. I guess between my Hippo and the Zelf, I can maybe switch around a little bit, but I'm assuming now that he has Rock Polish, he's a dual dance Lando with probably like either U-turn or knockoff and Earthquake. So gonna pretty much just have to sit in here and spam, pretty much just spam slack off here. That's really all I can do. If my Hippo goes down or I get critted, this thing's gonna be a pain in the ass to deal with. It actually probably could sweep me as well. Definitely if he would have got a crit on one of these turns. Luckily, it does not. I go for the slack off here. It does over half to me. It does like 75%. So this thing's a huge threat, and I need to try stalling this thing out as long as I can. Luckily, it is not a Lumberry set. I wasn't quite sure what item he was here. Was not quite sure. He has Earthquake and he has Dual Dance. I wasn't quite sure what his last move was. At this point in the match, I was assuming either knockoff or like U-turn, possibly. There also was a chance of him being actually like a Fly variant, but I really didn't see Fly because it really didn't do too much to my team, really. Now right here, I actually predict an Earthquake here. If he goes for the knockoff on this turn, good for him. He can kill my Azelf. Going to sharing head. We're going to be sharing some head around here. My nicknames are on point in this match as well. My Pokemon nicknames are on point. Sharing head. Does go for the Earthquake. I get that right. Now right here, Azelf really didn't do too much for me. I was actually running a Ferium Z Azelf with the with Substitute for the Mega Absol in case you wanted to play some Sucker Punch shenanigans. I did have the Substitute. I had the Shadow Ball for the Jirachi. I had Dazzling Gleam, and I think I had U-Turn on this set. Or it was actually Hidden Power Ice. Hidden Power Ice over U-Turn, I decided last minute. Just in case he wasn't like running like a Scarf Lando. It goes with a Continental Crush. That's going to one-hit KO me. Out of all the things on my team, Azelf dropping is probably the best thing. And I'll take a 1-for-1 trade. Lando is a big threat to Darmanitan and Mega Beedrill. So, now right here, actually going to Mega Beedrill. My opponent actually probably makes the best switch here and actually goes out into the Dugtrio. I guess it was the thing that probably matches up against most of my mons, like Darm and the Mega Beedrill. Now, there was a little bit of suspicion that he was actually going to be running a Scarf Dugtrio to check my Mega Beedrill and Darmanitan, because he really has no counter to Scarf Darmanitan apart from like a defensive Landorus with like Intimidate. And like I actually kind of thought of, he actually is running Scarf Dougie, which does make it a bit more easy to deal with, just because he has to lock himself into something each turn. He locks himself into the Stone Edge. I don't know if Earthquake would have killed. It probably would have, but maybe I can calculate after this and put in the description. But I actually click Toxic here, but expect him to go into Licky Licky and keep his Absol around a little bit longer. I go for the Toxic here. It kind of sucks. Gets Magic Bounce back onto me, and I have no way of getting rid of this Toxic now. So my Hippo, a little bit of a dumb play on my turn. Getting a Toxic on my Hippo for really nothing now, so I really can only slack off, and I always have a timer now. So not looking too good for Hippo here. Testicles. So gonna go for the knockoff here. I pretty much just have to spam slack off at this point. I do not want to have my Hippo in low range, just so I cannot have the Tapu Koko coming in and possibly going for like a Grass Knot, which is probably the only thing it really hit me with. And I do not want to have the Dougie coming in and actually killing me from the range I was at, if I would be very low. And plus the Jirachi is still a huge threat, and I didn't want to be like maybe like a mixed Jirachi or something and flinching me out. I really didn't want that either. So just gonna slack off here, let the Sandstorm pick away the Absol. Absol, I love you, buddy, but you gotta go down here. Probably one of my favorite Megas still. Definitely a very, very nice Mega. I really like the design of Mega Absol. Going into the Licky Licky here now. I wasn't really quite sure what this thing was gonna do to me. It does get, I think, Ice Beam. I think it's Flamethrower and maybe like Explosion. I don't know if he has like was gonna set up. I was assuming maybe like a Curse or something here. Or possibly like a body slam. He does go for a body slam here. I wasn't quite sure what he's really going to do. I know it passes wishes as well. Get the crit there, it doesn't matter. As long as I don't get paralyzed, it's fine. Right here, I can spam Stone Edge if I wanted. I am Sand Rush as well. If I'm under Sand Rush, I can outspeed the Tapu Koko and kill it with a Stone Edge. If it's below like 90, I think it's like 90 or 85%, I can kill it with a Stone Edge. Adamant Life Orbed as well. 252 attack and 252 speed. Go for the Stone Edge there. Now right here, there was a possibility of actually going for a Protect. There was a suspicion of me as well of him actually having Earthquake. He goes for the Protect. I just click Swords Dance here. I take a bit of a gamble. I go +2, and it actually works out for me. So Molester going up to +2 here. Now this is very, very awesome. It is going to be a roll here after leftovers, which we actually did calc after the match. It was, I think, at like 80. It was like 90 to like 106, I think it was. I think it was in my opponent's favor of him actually living, not being a one-hit KO. I do get a low roll here. He lives on like 98%. It was like, I think it's like not even, yeah, like 98% and like 2%. So, he does have Earthquake, does take me out, which is unfortunate because I could have swept if I would have got a high roll there. But Lycanroc putting in the work, that's more than I can ask from Lycanroc. Getting the +2 and actually pretty much killing a Licky Licky here. More than it did week 1. Actually, Lycanroc pretty much was the debut there because it did not in week 1 for me either, and I haven't brought it since. So, Lycanroc, I guess I'll keep it for a little bit longer because I want to trade you away, but I guess I'll keep you. Going to Darmanitan, Jackass is here. Mr. Jackass. Go for the U-turn. No matter what, U-turn's going to kill. He goes for the double protect just because I don't really know why it mattered. I think U-turn even after double protect would have killed because it's a Darmanitan and yeah. I U-turn out and I go into Testicles. Pretty much what he had left was the Tapu Koko. At this range I can live a Grass Knot. Grass Knot I think does around about 80%, so I can live at this range barely, depending on his set. Goes on Tapu Koko. Now this is pretty much a screaming Grass Knot at this point. Tapu Koko gets like no coverage apart from like HP Ice and like U-turn and Grass Knot. So he has really nothing to touch me with. Screaming Grass Knot here. I go out into my dedicated Tapu Koko counter and go into Cocksucker. Assault Vest Florges, running the max HP. I think it's 248 HP. And max special attack. I did not even need any special defensive investment. That's how beast Florges is. Special defensive beast. I don't even need any special defense. I'm just running Assault Vest, like fully specially. Calm Nature. I actually expect him to go into Jirachi here. I actually packed the Hidden Power Fire. Does not work out though. He actually ends up staying in here. HP Fire still does a ton though. Tapu Koko is very, very frail. And not Thunderstorm, the Sandstorm is still taking it down. So he actually shows the Roost here. He has, I think, T-Bolt, Roost, and Grass Knot. So a little bit of intel. I'm assuming maybe Volt Switch or U-turn as last move, or possibly like HP Ice maybe. Go for the Moonblast. It does over half. It does more than he can pretty much Roost back at this point. I'm getting dwindled down, but at this point I really don't need it for too much in this match anyways. Florges is pretty much doing what it's doing here. And I just go for the Moonblast again. Even if he wants to go into the Rachi, it will still be taking like 25% plus rocks. So I click Moonblast. And it does a shitload actually. It does more than I expected it to be. So it is more of like a defensive Jirachi or possibly like a defensive variant. Not really especially defensive by that damage. He goes for the Psychic here. I don't know if he was expecting me going into the Hippo or the Jackass. I'm not quite sure, but I go for the Moonblast again, predicting like a U-turn here. There was a possibility of him U-turning. I could not let that go and not let that happen because if he U-turned, he would have went right out into the Dugtrio and trap me in, and I wouldn't have nothing to really do about that. So kind of had to go for the Moonblast. Now right here, I click Hidden Power Fire. A bit too high to the range where it does not kill, but it's not really too big of a problem as long as I have Scarfed Arm in the back. Florges the Beast eating up flash cannons from Jirachi. That's how much of a beast Florges is. Florges is putting in the work this week, just like last week, put in a lot of work. Even though we did not pick up the win that last week. I'm gonna go to Jackass. Pretty much just click U-turn every time. Every time he goes on Tapu Koko as well, he actually ends up clicking or taking rocks damage at this point. U-turn does kill here. Was kind of expecting him to actually stay in. I guess he wants to keep it around because it's only check to hip out on at this point. So I actually expect him to sack off the Jirachi and keep the Tapu Koko around just because it has reliable recovery and it can still Grass Knot my hip out on. Opponent thinks otherwise, so I'm guessing Jirachi is like fully special and I guess has maybe something to hit me with. I wasn't quite sure what it had to hit me with, but now right here I pretty much had one play to make and one play to win. He goes out into the Jirachi here. He goes for the Psychic. I can live a Psychic with Jackass, and I can live a Flash Cannon with Jackass. It depends really what his last two moves are, which I do not know. I go right out into Jackass here. There's no rocks up, so I don't have to take any rocks damage either. He can go for Psychic. I will live. It does a little bit less than 50%. He actually goes for Energy Ball, so that's even better, because now I can still take a Psychic if I need to. Even with the Sandstorm, I can still take a Psychic at this range if I need to. I'm going to go for the U-turn here. I am Choice Scarfed. I cannot stay in and go for the Flare Blitz, otherwise Dougie will come in and actually kill me because Choice Scarf Doug Trio. U-turn out into the Powwow. Now at this point, I have really seen nothing that Doug Trio can really do to me. There's really nothing. I'm fully defensive, and I have reliable recovery in Slack Off, which I'm going to have to go for this next turn. Because if he possibly gets a crit here, he possibly might take me very, very low. So, play it safe. I go for the Slack Off on this turn. Just to play safe. I really didn't want to make too much risk here. I didn't want to throw away the win like last week. That close and I still lost. But, go for the Slack Off. And get it pretty much up to full. Even with the toxic damage, Earthquake still only does around about 20 to like 30%. So, with like a higher roll. So at this point, Earthquake will kill him. I actually didn't expect Earthquake to kill him at this point, but it's a Doug Trio. I guess Doug Trio has like 0 HP, so not even invested in Earthquake kills. So that's Doug Trio is so weak. It's not really weak offensively, but defensively it's so bad. And we actually pick up a 2-0 win over Greg. So now that actually makes us Greg. He actually got a 5-0 over us last season, and actually, when I ran Scarf Cress, I'm always going to remember that match because Scarf Cress got a kill. And we actually get a 2-0 victory. So now he's 1-1. We need to have a tiebreaker match probably this next season. Either that or if we both make the playoffs. I highly doubt I'm going to be making it to playoffs this season, but next season we're probably going to be playing again. I'm not quite sure when next season will be, like a long time from now, but pretty much going to be the tiebreaker. We're 1-1 right now. Whoever can get the 1-0 up over each other, then a little bit of a rivalry going on right now. But props to my opponent. My opponent played very, very well. He also did prep very well with the Scarf Dougie, the Scarf Doug Trio, and the Continental Crush Lando. Very interesting. I played it very, very well as well. I was in the zone. Like I said, I was in the zone for these last few weeks. Not really last week. It was I guess it was last week, but I just didn't pick up the win barely. But back on track. We got some momentum under our belt, and yeah, maybe we can go next week. I know next week we actually face Ryan, who has not actually been responding. So I guess maybe we can pick up a forfeit win next week. I'm not quite sure. Has a very, very threatening draft, though. Very threatening draft. I don't know. I'm really gonna have to prepare and come up with some like really wacky shit to go against him. He has a very threatening draft. I think he has Mega Mawile as well, which is a complete monster. Apart from that, if you guys enjoy, feel free to drop a like down below and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Again, the channel has been a little bit slow, but after the school year's done, it will be picking up very, very steadily. So, along with the second channel. Second channel's going to be getting a rebranding here in the next few weeks, so keep an eye on that. Follow me on Twitter as well, @BradMew. Keep up to date with me as well. See you guys next week with the next week of the OBA. Peace.